PS. President Ruto promised free sanitary towels to all girls. Is that happening? It's a question that I pose to you, and you can respond via social media platforms at K24 TV, at Joel Chacha, as well on SMS and WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screens. Also, at some point, President William Ruto promised that there will be an enforcement where men will seek consent from their spouses before selling the land or property. Is that happening? Half of his cabinet also was to consider the gender balance. We'll be just analyzing whether that has been met, especially after the maiden cabinet was dismissed. There was also a pledge by President Ruto on settling the two-third gender rule by his administration. Will be actually engaging our parliamentarian will be in studio on whether Parliament has so far managed that. 50 billion hustler fund, that was of course to help all Kenyans. Interestingly, President Ruto had promised to ring-fence, as you know, out of it a portion for women to boost MSMEs and SMEs. Now, remember, free sanitary towels also for women who are to give birth under Ruto's government. they were to get 3 months, or they are to get 3 months supply of free diapers. Have you given birth actually during this period? Did you get the 3 months free diapers? That was a promise that was made. On top of that, enhancing the NGAF, that is the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, from a whopping 2 billion Kenya shillings to 3 billion Kenya shillings. Currently, there is a transition from NHIF to Social Health Authority, or the Social Health Insurance Fund, and we ask, is it addressing the maternal care and other diseases that are mostly affecting women adequately? Keep the conversation going via social media platforms at K24 TV, at Joel Chacha, Zolana, SMS and WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screens. In studio shortly, I'll be joined by Honorable Beatrice Elachi. She is the Dagoretti North Member of Parliament. Vivian Tar, Communications and Governance Affairs expert Sheila Olang will be joining us live from Kisumu virtually, an economist and a political analyst. But already in studio is Ruth Kinyanjui, political governance and economic analyst. Thank you so much for creating time this morning.
Thank you.
Now that you're an economist, before even perusing what is on our dailies, how would you say the state of the economy is as at now?
Thank you, Chacha, and good morning to viewers. First, I look at that very differently on many fronts. First, there is a cry of lack of cash in circulation. Businesses, money is not circulating, and that is bringing a lot of constraint to businesses and also affecting the purchasing power. And purchasing power is what really affects the GDP. However, when I normally look at the exchange rates, they are very stable, and that informs us that there could be a lot of stability in our import and exports. There is a balance of trade that is coming from that front. However, don't forget, Chacha, I've always said it once again and again on this show that Kenyan economy is very resilient. Kenyan people are really resilient, and as a result, we can see that when we look at the inflation rate, it has not gone it has gone really low this year to 3.5, which was really like very different comparing to last year time like this at 7.5. So as a country economically, we can say things are stable apart from lack of money in circulation, and this gridlock can be unlocked if of course the first thing, if government can start doing the pending bill disbursement to counties, and that actually can see the awakening of the economy. Let me also not forget to mention the few profitabilities that we've had recently, the recent one being Kenya Power yesterday, and also the turnaround of KQ, and the hopes that we have with KenGen. We can see that the government agencies are doing well, so they are...
Because of Adani?
Yeah. I really don't want to go to that for now, but I'm just looking at the stability of of the economy, and the fact that I won't forget another thing that is making the economy very stable, which is the weather condition we've experienced this year, making food and commodities, you know, basic commodity very available to common mwananchi. As a result, there has not been hunger and other macroeconomic factors that could really affect the country. So beside the economic and beside the political instability, I think the economy has been really resilient.
Well, that is just an opening remarks from Ruth Kinyanjui. She is an economist, CPA in fact. Let's see what is our dailies this morning. People Daily, splashes of Ruto scheme for 2027 polls. That is a power plot with Raila in the bag. Opposition nearly dead. Impeached deputy president severely wounded. President smoothens road to re-election. That is on page 4. That is actually a matter that we'll be highlighting shortly. But still on the same cover page, as Gachagua vows to teach him a lesson. So the time to reckon is coming shortly. We will show them how we respond to our adversaries, he declares. That is, you know, the actual images of President William Ruto, now the AUC candidate for Kenya, Raila Odinga, and the impeached deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, all actually highlighted on the cover page of the People Daily. That is on page 4, just to peruse quickly. Page 4 of the People Daily. A stealthy Ruto has his eyes on 2027 re-election. After winning his principal nemesis and edging out his former deputy into political oblivion, President could be steadily marching towards a second term due to lack of a strong challenger. President William Ruto seems to have trained his eyes on his 2027 re-election bid as he stealthily embarks on clearing hurdles lying on his path. After winning the support of his rival, that is Raila Odinga, whose bastion is now eyeing to inherit and pushing his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua into political oblivion, the president could be steadily marching to 2027 without much challenge. Ruth, perhaps just economically, even as Ruto seems to be, you know, tactfully maybe playing the political cards right. Economically, are we performing well, even as Ruto marches towards 2027? Is he a president that, you know, for maybe, if at all he'll be re-elected, would run this economy better than he find it for the next, up to 2022, that is. And there was even a conversation of increasing term limits by 7.
I think the best thing is that Kenya is very peculiar. So every day you have to deal with really difficult stuff. Before even I say what he can be able to do in the next 3 years and the stability of the economy. First, do you know, Chacha, we are very early. It's very early to the re-election. And sadly that we have started as a country playing political card as early as only 2 years into elections. So what that means is that most of the promises that were made might not be achieved because people will not really be focusing on what has been achieved, but rather what is being seen on the ground. And more so the fact that this has been quite a political year that Kenyans did not expect as much as they have seen. Before I even comment in terms of the capability that is expected maybe in the next 3 years economically, I just want to take you back to the term, the tenure of Kibaki. And I remember the first term of President Kibaki, people really complained and they expected him to always be speaking, always coming out for press conferences, always be out there updating Kenyans on what he's up to. But what we can see, I think one of the things that he did really well is the appointment of the people he put in power and people he knew that could perform. And apparently, people that were very qualified for the job. I think with that in mind, I'm looking at this government and seeing that despite all the challenges that have been there, there's still an opportunity to do very well even going forward, because even with the sudden otherwise not so good situation, still in those bad situations, something can be overturned and be good. Why do I say that? Just as I commented earlier, because we've seen the economy has been resilient, we can see the forex has been put under the demand and supply kind of model, and it's working. We have seen oil supply and oil cost has also been coming down slightly, being of course dictated by the same forces of demand and supply. So despite what we are seeing politically and the fact that politics affect quite a huge impact of economics, I think there's still an opportunity to turn around and also be re-elected. However, this government has no need to change when it comes to already the listening to the common mwananchi and also stopping these political shenanigans so that we can see performance. If that can be done, this country can be very far. And the fact that it is such a Kenya is such an edge when it comes to not only Africa but to the world. So can this leadership now put Kenya into the world-class map? That's what we are looking at.
Will 2027 be about having a strong competitor, or will it be Ruto against the economy?
It's a lot to do with a lot that is expected to happen in the near future. First, the AUC has not happened, because wherever AUC is going to go, whether it comes to Kenya or not, then that is going to affect a number of dynamics, and we know how our Kenyan politics is dictated. So if that win comes to Kenya, then it might push us ahead in a lot of things, especially in our name, and also we might not experience a lot of instability. However, if that doesn't come to us, then you might expect a bit of push and pull the whole of next year and maybe the next 2 years, because people will be camping with one person and the other. So all those campings will affect whether the economy will go forward or not. But before even we say what will happen in 2027, can also the promises be seen to be done, because there is a lot that is not happening from a promises perspective, and more so because of today's topic, where largely it's about women. We want to see promises about women.
So in other words, as a country, we risk actually facing economic turmoils as a result of starting early politics, or 2027 politics right now. I mean, just in 2024, it's President William Ruto's actually second budget.
And the second budget actually did not even pass. You're forgetting that. So we are still using the first budget. And luckily that the fact that we saw the court reinstate the housing levy. And so we are still in 2023. How that is going to be overturned in 2024-25 is still a determinant. Otherwise, the government is still facing challenges of being able to achieve its income targets. And income targets also will dictate how the development agenda and some of the promises are going to be fulfilled. However, I think the other thing that we need to also think and look at is, are they using the right policies, especially the fiscal policies, so that we can be able to demonstrate and say, are the right policies being implemented even at the budget preparation focus point, so that Kenya can be, so that the government can be able to earn more, because we can see more focus right now is on individual, how much I'm going to get from you, from SHA, from housing levy, but how about businesses? Is the model still clearly working, or are there still glaring gaps that needs to be fulfilled or be done or be filled, so that they can be, the government can be able to reap more internally, even as it looks for outside funding? So there is a lot of balance, and how they balance those two is going to determine whether we are going to be at the president is going to be at a good place in 2027 or not. And the other thing is how he's going to balance the politics from 2025, because we can say for right now, the Rigathi thing could be going under the bus right now, and maybe it could be a close case. But even with that, once maybe the former deputy president is outside, and now the AUC is with us or not, all those are dynamics that he has to balance vis-a-vis the policies that he's implementing. Yes.
And now we are joined by Honorable Beatrice Elachi, the Great North Member of Parliament. Thank you so much for creating time this morning. And as well, Vivian Tar, Communications and Governance Affairs Expert. Thank you so much for getting time. And on you, Honorable Elachi, and what has been splashed today on the People Daily, That is on the cover page. Ruto scheme for 2027 polls. And actually, Ruth was, you know, dissecting the demerits of, you know, starting the 2027 politics now, and of course, its impact on the economy, and maybe on you. So far, with the Raila in the bag, opposition nearly dead. That's according to the People Daily. You can see you're giving me a very strong eye. Impeached Deputy President severely wounded. President smoothens the road to re-election. What do you make of People Daily's splash this morning? Ruto's scheme for 2027 polls.
I have a bone of contention with the people, but let me not go there. I mean, I like being honest, Chacha, and you know me. So, I mean, that's why am I saying that? I might read that way. When I enter into the real, you have a good headline, and then when you go in, it takes you to another direction, which is not fair.
You also featured actually on the cover page of the People Daily.
Yes.
On NGCDF.
On a variance of 158,000. Yeah, I know.
But it's still money.
No, it is money, a variance. They need to go and learn what is a variance. And
Maybe
get to
educate
understand.
our viewer. What is the variance?
A variance is when you find you have given, yes, bursary, but in one way or another, either it was not spent, so it hangs, and so whom did you give? Yes, but now you can't call that a ghost.
So whom did you give?
No, some of them are these schools we are trying to support, the ABET schools. And you know, when they find themselves with also challenges with their accounts or even the names of their students, and you find you've sent, as we avoid so much sending single checks, when we have more students in a school, we'd rather send the whole check in school. But before we do that, we have to go through the whole list.
So you can still account for the 158,000.
Yes, and the bazaar has to be there to show us, indeed, these are students in a school. So some, even universities, we used to have those challenges. So we had to again change, because you send the money and kumbe, the student is no longer even there. So those are some of the things. So it's just within
So
a
you need to be
process.
dropped from the list of shame.
Well, if it is a list of shame, you know the shame is in the constituency, not even here. Them they are wondering, from 15,000 kids, 150 million, 158, then you should be also very biased to not, when you're putting me with somebody who has issues of 29 million, that makes sense. But that's it's okay to put it there. Because also it shows when you come to become more strict, people will understand why. So it's okay. It helps us.
So the People Daily here, even as it highlights on Ruto's scheme for 2027 polls, states that opposition is nearly dead. You're in the opposition, or you're in the government.
Who says?
Where do you stand,
I need them also.
Because even in the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, you voted in support of the mover is from Kenya Kwanza.
Yeah.
So you're in Kenya Kwanza.
That was a Kenya thing. That was not about politics. It was about parliament, the impeachment. So it's not that we are in Kenya Kwanza. I mean, give me the years when opposition was very strong. Give me the years, Chacha, in Kenya.
So Raila Odinga has been failing Kenyans all along?
No, I've just said, give me the years. He has never failed. He has always come in to assist when we are about to go to the dogs. Every time Kenya is about to go to the brinks, he comes in. And I have not seen anyone. And by the way, we are laughing, but one day, do you know Baba won't be there? And you know that is the day you'll come to realize what he has done for this country. We will cry at that time.
But now the leaders that he has groomed, including you, can you stand against Ruto's policies as of now?
Yes, even now I'm against Shah and the model of education. But not against to throw it. Against not on the president, because he's not the one. His technical team has just failed us as a country. Because Shah is not about the president. Shah is about me and my family and any other Kenyan who is supposed to be supported how he or she can walk into a hospital and be treated well and be given the right medication that he or she needs, or that management process she has been going in, if you are diabetic, if you are cancer, all those things. So it's not about the president. And that is what the Economic Council team must understand. The things, these social things that the president would wish to see them function. They must know those are the things that touch now the real mwananchi. When you touch on issues of education, it is now the mwananchi you've touched. Health today, I will tell you, and I am pleading with them, that you need to take a desk to every constituency, get the community health workers, let every Kenyan walk into their constituency office, be able to write and fulfill what you need on the requirements that you need so that he or she can get, I don't know whether it is even a card. Up to now, if you ask me what I'm supposed to walk in to be treated with, I don't know whether it is a card like the one of NHIF, or it's a number that you have sent me on a phone. What is this? Can somebody just explain that to Kenyans
We'll
properly?
be getting actually still to that. Allow me to also engage Vivian Tar, Communications and Governance Affairs expert, on the cover page of the People Daily this morning. You know, that Ruto seems to have already created a path for his re-election come 2027. Is that so? Do you feel with bagging Raila Odinga? And
First of all, I have issue with the bagging. I mean, is it a product that you put in a bag?
How are you bagging,
I
Baba?
think they're both politicians in their own right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we know the president. We've known him, his political journey from the time he was Eldoret North Member of Parliament, you know, on to becoming Deputy President under Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, and now President of Kenya. And like every politician, I mean, you're not going to sit and wait for 2027 to begin strategizing or planning, you know, your next move. So I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not surprised that even now, you know, he's already trying to figure out what next. What next? And this transcends just William Ruto. I think it's with every politician. Right now, it's already 2 years, slightly over 2 years since they got elected. And any politician worth their salt is right now already thinking, what's my next move? And if I want to get re-elected, how do I go about this? So this is not unique to the president only. I think we should look at it like in a broader sense. This is just like your career, you know. If you're a career politician, if you're in IT or you know you're in management or whatever, you're already looking at how do what's my next move. So this should not come as a surprise. But then with the issue of Raila in the bag, how is he in the bag? There's no appointment that he's gotten. There's nothing tangible, you know, that we can say that the ODM leader has gotten.
Politics of shares, according to Gachagua. At least 4 cabinet secretaries are on board. And the interior one, it was alleged that the minority leader is also keen to take it. But he clarified.
Let's talk about that.
Don't even bring that.
He clarified. Honorable Manduko is right here.
Let's talk about that when it happens. As of now, what we know, what is clear, and what's in the public domain is that Raila Odinga is in contention for AUC chair, and I think his focus, his efforts right now are towards campaigning to be, you know, the next AUC chair, which of course removes him from, you know, active political participation in Kenya, and possibly that's what you're saying is in the bag, because he's not very vocal about, you know, local matters anymore.
Well, Honorable Lachi says that Junet Mohammed cannot take that position for the interior CS.
He is very comfortable
Hassan
in
Joho
Parliament.
once said that, Honorable Lachi, remember.
No, Hassan was out. Remember, our minority leader is in the house.
Even Opia Wandai.
Well, that's another thing.
We take
Each person has their own way of doing it.
At this juncture, we'll be right back with the conversation of the day. That is women on Ruto's scorecard, a conversation that you can't afford to miss. Where are the free diapers, free sanitary towels? We'll be right back. Stay tuned.